Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Tuesday to you here. It is the NBA Tip-Off Show, and of course it is powered by WagerTalk.com. We've got 5 games here on the slate tonight, a couple of big primetime games with injuries and question marks everywhere. We wouldn't have it any other way, and we're going to try to break a few of these down for you, see if we can find a couple of bets that we like, and we're going to do it with the OG crew as we welcome back in Ski Profit in the house, ready to roll. Tony Finn back in the saddle again, as is Mr. Rob Vino here on this Tuesday night NBA spectacular here. Let me just check. I don't think LeBron's playing. Shocker across the board there. Skee, what is going on here, my man? You got 5 games to choose from. I know you got to nibble on something tonight over at WagerTalk.com. What do you got rolling for us?
It was good to be here with you, Joe. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you or been on with you.
I know.
And today, not that many games. I found 4 out of the 5 that I like and I, have action on, and I'll share some of them with you guys here. But as you guys know, you can always find it at WagerTalk.com. You can all access subscription if you want them when I release them.
Boom! Love it. All right, guys, make sure you visit Skee over at WagerTalk.com. Visit Mr. Finn as well, who continues to crush it. College basketball, NBA, dominating on the hardwood here over the last month. Tony, hell of a run. Congrats, man. Do you have anything tonight up and ready?
I don't. I have college up. I put an overnights up on them. But like you, Joe, like before we went on air, we were talking about some of the injuries that were still question marks. Typically, we get some leaked information by now on some of these players, some of these games, some of the key matchups inside of the games, and they haven't come in yet. So as soon as the show's over, there's a good chance that I'm gonna use my best bet for the show as a game tonight. We'll see how things I'll see what my partners here have to say, whether I'm right or wrong. We'll go from there.
All right, see, got a little something going on there. And I know Rob Vino, who has been crushing it here, certainly. College hoops been very, very good to you there, Vino. Congrats, man, crushing it. NBA. Was there anything in these 5 games you might have locked and loaded for us tonight?
There had to be, Joe. It's $14 Tuesday over at WagerTalk in accordance with Valentine's Day. So we do have an NBA best bet up and available at WagerTalk.com, along with 2 college plays. You mentioned college has been really, really good, 41-19 on the season. Continue to roll where that is concerned. Had a pretty nice Super Bowl as well, courtesy of points, and more points. So ready to get at it with these NBA games, Joe, where I heard you and Tony before I snuck in here talking about how these injury reports are just not very accommodating. I don't know how long we've been on this show, 3.5 years. They haven't been accommodating for 3.5 years now.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, they suck. But we're going to read between the lines, see if we can't figure some things out here. And we are going to get it rolling with the Contrarian Gods. Who else to start us off here? Then the Gods, who are going to be looking at, the Golden State Warriors. Second of a back-to-back here, taking on the well-rested Clippers, apparently. And, I mean, come on, right? You can't bet against the No, well, maybe you can because they've sucked, too. 8 is what I'm seeing as that number. It did open 9, so the Contrarian Gods are having some influence on the market as that number continues to fall. So Skee, what do you think, man? We were looking at the injury report. We're still waiting for the 431 here in a couple of minutes, but for all indications are Clay may be a go. Wiggins may not be. I don't know. When you put it all together, what do you think? 8 too much for the inconsistent Clippers?
Well, they barely have a winning record so far at home. I know they're not covering. I have them at 12 and 15 against the spread, so it'll make me uncomfortable to expect them to win this game by double digits, regardless of who's on the court for Golden State. You mentioned they do have the rest advantage 3 days compared to none, but I just think Golden State's offense is, I've trusted what I've seen from them more than what I've seen from the Clippers. So me feeling uncomfortable laying when they haven't done it, I'll lean Golden State. I think the better bet is Zubac over his 9.5 rebounds. He's cleared it 5 of his last 6 games. Golden State is a bottom 10 rebounding team the last 5 games. And I just think it's a good matchup for him tonight.
All right, they're liking the matchup here tonight. What do you think, Finn? Golden State getting it done last night at home. Now they got to travel a little further down here to the Clippers, who have been about as inconsistent as they come. So what do you think tonight? You trust them to lay 8?
Well, before I say anything about that, I will say that I just got a text. Let's call it breaking news. Let's call it NBA tip-off show. Breaking news. Klay Thompson will play in a back-to-back for the first time this season. That's what it said. There it is. So if that helps anyone or hurts anyone, my apologies. Listen, this is the deal. The Clippers have a big advantage, right, rest-wise. I still have question marks about the trade deadline. I'm not a huge Jackson fan. I'm not a huge Reggie fan. I'm really not. But the metrics for the Clippers, when they needed some offense, he was a better option at the point really in that off-guard shooting guard spot than anyone else they have. Save their future Hall of Famers. But it's difficult for me to wrap my arms around. Golden State is Curry's in, Curry's out, Clay's in, Clay's out. They trade wise, and they're going a different way. They're going to play more offensive than defense. Which way are they going to go? Here's the deal. The Clippers have made me some money, guys. They really have. Since both of these guys have gotten healthy, both have decided, this load management's gonna have to start either being partitioned, separated, split up more so they can play back to back. I really like what I see. But I agree with Skee. Laying a double digits or at least close to double digits in this game is too much for me. I'm out. But if I was in, I'm still finding a way to be on the Clippers.
All right. Might be leaning that way. Vino, Clay's going here tonight for the first go around here. They certainly looked pretty good last night. This Golden State team. I don't know, man. Can we trust the Clippers? You see this injury report? Doesn't look like anybody's on it for them, which has got to be the first time this year as well. So what are we going to do tonight here, Vino?
Yeah, where Clay's concerned, I think it's obvious. It's the Warriors' last game before the All-Star break. So, the rest is going to be 9 days worth for him after this game. So why not play him, even though he went 36 minutes last night, just about 36 minutes. That's a lot for it to ask of him on back-to-backs, as Tony said, for the first time in quite some time. But I get it. They are where they are in the standings. They want to try and get wins when they can. And like I say, with this being their last game before the All-Star break, then go ahead and play Klay Thompson here. That being said, the Clippers lineup is awfully different, right? These teams have only played once. It was way back at the end of November. No Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. Now all of a sudden tonight, I think you get Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, all these new guys come charging in to fortify the bench. We'll see how they work in or out. But I do think that having Highland and Gordon can be somewhat of a help if the Clippers feel that they have to, at some point in this game, match up small with Golden State. Obviously, if the bigs work, you don't have to go small. You can just keep Zubac and Plumlee on the floor and dominate the boards, and you don't have to go small. Then you don't have to really relegate to other lineups. But it will be interesting to see how those two guys integrate in the first game. But I think more importantly, the George and Kawhi being in here for the first time against Golden State. And the Clippers also, both of these teams are in a spot where they want to climb standings. So you're going to get full effort out of both. I just wonder if the tired effort out of Golden State is enough if they get worn down in the fourth. If you're looking at props in this game, I would say, Jordan Poole last night gets 3 fouls in the first 10 minutes of the game and then has to subsequently sit the remainder of the half, only plays 10 of 24 minutes. I'd expect him to have a big night tonight. If Clay's shooting is off a little bit, regardless, I think he'll have a big night. I would have to lean the way these two guys are saying, Golden State plus, just because it's hard to trust the Clippers double digit. But I think the Clippers are going to come out firing here. It's just a matter of me not trusting them to cover this type of number. Nothing real strong here.
Clippers start real slow, too, don't they, in games? So a couple of different ways you can approach this game. Slow it up. First half's looking good. Unders, all sorts of ways to look. But the contrarian gods are saying, don't sleep on Golden State getting 8 tonight against the Clippers. All right, let's check it out here. We got ourselves a featured matchup as well, only 5 games. This should be interesting. How about the Phoenix Suns back at home after a nice little road trip here out east? They are laying 2.5. They're welcoming in the Sacramento Kings. 233, 233 and a half is the total in this one. And boy, oh boy, the Phoenix Suns, all arrows pointing up here, Skee, right? As soon as they can get Durant on the court. But in the meantime, they got everyone else finally on the court here. What do you think of their chances holding serve against Sacramento tonight?
Well, first, I have to touch the props just before I forget. My first thought process when I went through this game was I was maybe going to play Devin Booker just because I heard he can maybe break a 3-point record tonight. And I held up just because he recently came back. He's only been playing around 25 minutes. And for him to get to his point prop of 24 and a half, I mean, he averages 26 and a half, but he usually plays 34, 35 minutes. So until I see him get that ramp up, I think I have to get away from that. And so the other player prop that I did like was Ayton. I went with him over his 10 and a half rebounds. He's hit that 10 of his last 15 games. He's hit it 5 of the last 6 times for Sacramento, and Sacramento is a bottom 3 rebounding team the last 5 games. So I like that. And, if we're going to get less Devin Booker in this game, and just looking at how Phoenix has been playing lately, I mean, most of that is with less Devin Booker. They've gone under this total that we're looking at today, 11 of the last 13 games. And if you look at the home road splits for both of these teams, they're combined 33 and 20 to the under, which is about 62.2%. And I want to say those games are averaging closer to about 227. So I like the under in this game. I like Ayton over his rebound prop, and that's the way I decided to play it.
Yeah, like that under too, because we know Phoenix, when healthy, might be able to play some defense here. Finn, I know Devin Booker. Some of the comments that just came out about him is, yeah, they're looking really forward to getting this All-Star break over with and getting back at it. So, and I don't blame them. So I don't know. You inspired effort here tonight. What do you think?
Well, here before I had another text come in, and the rumors are that KD and campaign will have pea shooters and have threatened Ed Malloy, Curtis Blair, and Jason Goldenberg, who are the officials tonight, that they wouldn't get their Valentine's cards unless they won the game. So just that's another thing you guys should probably know about this game. Because KD will be on. Is he going to be on the bench? How's he going to shoot pea shooters on the bench? All right. I figured he'd be on his 9. Is he in the All-Star game? Yeah, right. No, he's not going to play. I think he'll replaced. But long story short, this is my best bet. Phoenix tonight, Sacramento. I have a lean toward Phoenix here tonight for several reasons. And I'll get to that on our best bet segment if it's okay with you guys.
All right, good stuff there. Like that, Vino. Talk to me here, my man. A couple of different ways to attack this. It was 3.5. No, I'm sorry. It was 3. It looks like it's back to 2.5 now. So total's not moving a whole lot. You got a feeling one way or the other here?
Well, it would be, I mean, we say it all the time. First game back home after the long road trip. This was a 5-game road trip. You don't want to play the home team. So it automatically scratches Phoenix for me, right or wrong. You just don't want to get on
Right.
Phoenix, and maybe that's why some people are on Sacramento here. I'm not sure. They sit 3 and 4 in the West as far as seeding is concerned. I think that seeding means a little bit more to Sacramento than it does to Phoenix, as was just mentioned by either Skee or Tony or yourself, whoever was given the Devin Booker quote. I think Phoenix believes they can ramp it up second half and jet right up to where they want to be. I mean, 4 actually gives you a home court slot in the playoffs to begin with, so they can get even higher. But Sacramento is the team probably hanging on right now. We saw the desperation game the other night in overtime against Dallas. Is Sacramento, from a totals perspective, guys, 5 straight overs, 261, 236, 258, 261, 240, huge totals produced by the Kings games. However, a couple of those were sets of back-to-backs against the now high-flying Dallas Mavericks and against the Houston Rockets, who play no defense. So that's 4 of your 5 games. The other one was against New Orleans. And the one against Dallas actually includes overtime, right? So there's only 228 scored in regulation there. This number's a little bit low as far as Kings totals are concerned. That's predicated on Suns defense. I tried to go back to the first time around this year, but it's too hard to go back to that box score because so many of the names were not involved there or were involved that aren't going to be involved here, such as Mikal Bridges played in that game, not playing anymore here. So you can't get very much out of that 117 to 112 game. I would say this. I'm pretty sure that Sacramento is, if they shoot okay, I think it gets over. If they shoot okay in this game. I would have to believe that pace will be there. I don't think Phoenix will back away from it, even though Chris Paul is running point. I still think that Sacramento will force some pace. But again, if they don't shoot it well, it could stay under. My slight lean, guys, would have to be toward over in this contest just because of the number itself. If this was up in the 237 range, I probably wouldn't say that. But low 230s seems pretty easy for Sacramento to get over nowadays. So in a game that should be fairly decent shooting should exist. And especially on the Phoenix side, I'll just close by saying this. Here's what Sacramento has allowed in those 5 games. They've allowed teams to shoot 50% or better for their last 5. The 3-point field goal percentage against Sacramento is 40.6 or better in 5 of their last 6. They're kind of lucky Phoenix isn't a great 3-point shooting team, but that could open up what Skee was talking about with Devin Booker and his threes as a prop tonight, because this team doesn't play any 3-point defense. So again, they've allowed between 120 and 136. If I'm just looking at Sacramento's defense, there's a case to be made for over.
All right. Well, it's at home here tonight. Phoenix is first game, like Robert said, off a long East Coast road trip tonight, taking on Sacramento. Going to be interesting, and I think we'll know rather quickly what we're going to get in that matchup. We do have one involved with a total we're going to take a look at for our overtime segment here. And I think we're going to look at the late game here tonight, as the Washington Wizards now traveling to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. Both teams second of a back-to-back coming off those games last night. Both Washington had a chance early to handle business against Golden State, but couldn't do it. Both teams flew over the total. Portland, it was raining threes. It's 235 as an open, but it's not, believe it or not, rising. And you would have thought here, Skee, that maybe this thing would have been 240 already, given what we saw from both teams last night. What gives here? Are you buying that we get up and over in this one as well, or is the under the way to look?
Yeah, you make a good point. I think it's because both of these teams played yesterday, and with that comes uncertainty as far as who's going to be in the lineup for tonight. I know we have Kuzma game time decision. Hill affected as far as expecting points from the Wizards side if he's listed out, and you never know. I mean, you could get Lillard, Simons, anybody listed out on that side, and that would also hurt an over. So that's the reason I didn't get involved early. But other than that, last 5 game stats, I mean, both top 10 offensive rated teams and bottom 10 defensive rated teams. As far as on the second of a back-to-back, you have them combined 13-6 to the over so far this season. Just looking at their games they've been playing lately, I mean, Portland's been clearing this number 8 of their last 11. in the last 2 weeks, if you look at the combined 9 and 4 to the over, with those games averaging a little bit above 240. So if I have Kyle Kuzma in there, I would definitely look to play this one up and over the total. If he's listed out, I might just look to play on Porzingis versus bottom 10 3-point defenses. He has a lot of success. He's been hitting like 3+. I want to say a lot of these games. He's averaging 23.4 points per game versus those bottom 10 3-point defenses and 2.8 threes. So I guess to sum it up, the way I would play this game is wait on the injury report. If Kyle Kuzma is in, I play the full game over. And also, we need Lillard and Simons in. If Kyle Kuzma is out, we'll play Porzingis over his point prop or his 3-point prop.
Well, the 430 just came out, and Kuzma's not
Kuzma's
on.
in. He's in.
So there you go. So Kuzma is in. Grant is still out in the concussion protocol. We know Nurkic is there, but everyone else appears to be in for Portland as well. So Skee's looking at the over in this one, giving the participants here. And what do you think there, Tony Finn? Are you in agreement here? Is this simply an over for you?
When it comes to back-to-backs, I thought that was a really good point, and that is in this day and age of basketball, not only are we scoring, for 15 points more than we were 10 years ago per game, we have a lot of question marks as far as injuries go. And the odds makers really made some good adjustments, these totals. I can remember, it wasn't a month ago, all four of us were saying, man, a 240, a 230, it's got to take an awful lot. Everything's got to go right, or just one thing has to go wrong for that to go over. In this case, I've been using, I still do, I don't use them. They're not an end-all guys, but Wizards, Portland, back-to-backs with no rest on totals, they've been pretty pedestrian, about 500 on the totals. And for the most part, they hang around a group of teams that have negative plus minuses to those totals. And they're not listen, neither one of these teams are the Lakers, Dallas, even Orlando, who are closer to plus 10, plus 15, as far as the plus minus goes on those totals, what the final score is. So in this situation, I would be leaning under. I wish I knew a little more about Lillard and how he's feeling after, his that grimace on his face and that stick that in your, that look has to take a lot of energy. Every time he made one of those threes, he'd look around like this, like where am I not entertaining you? That kind of thing. So pretty good stuff, but too many injuries right now for Portland to believe that Lillard can carry them again. And Kuzma is in. And do you like Kuzma's offense here? Do you like Kuzma beating up on one of the Portland scores? I don't know. I don't like the over here. I'm not on the under, guys, but I'd have to be opposite our high flying game of the night and would be under the total in the Portland Wizards game.
All right, leaning towards the under. Vino, I'd have liked Grant to be in this game here and look at the under, because at least we know we get some defense from Portland. But Kuzma moves the needle. He's moving it on the side. I'm seeing twos now popping up here. Portland down to just -2, 236.5. It looks like it's creeping back up. So what do you think, though? How would you approach this game?
Well, I got in early, Joe, because I didn't think there was any question about Portland's injury list. I mean, again, it's their last game before the All-Star break, and they're trying to get wins to be in the playoffs. So everybody was going to play for Portland. The only question mark really was Kuzma. And even without Kuzma, this figures to be a high-scoring game in my mind. There's a zillion ways to look at it. Surprise, surprise, the best first quarter over team in the NBA is the Washington Wizards. They go over the total again last night in the first quarter against Golden State. I think they're now 40-17 over in the first quarter. They're also the number one over team first half, I think, either one or two. So they get out of the gates really, really quickly. And Portland, that's the discrepancy here, right? Portland is the absolute lowest or the worst over team in the first quarter. They don't get off the fast starts. They pick it up a little by halftime. And then, of course, where full game is concerned, we see Portland with big second half. So there's a lot of ways to approach this thing, whether it be by team total, whether it be by quarter or half or full. But I think they all add up to over. These teams just played a few days ago. February the 3rd to be exact. The game is in Washington. It goes 240, 124, 116. Both teams shot it real well. In that game, as I look here real quick, Lillard and Simons combined for 62 points. Porzingis and Beal combined for 66 points. So there's 132 points out of 4 guys. The rim defense, the rim protection defense out of Portland is non-existent. In fact, somebody, I'm trying to think off the top of my head who they played a couple of nights ago, who actually commented on how invisible the defense was and how they just went to the rack time after time after time against Portland. It's why they're going over so much. They can't defend it without Nurkic in there. They threw Matisse Thybulle in the starting lineup last night to try and get some form of defense. And guess what? Matisse Thybulle actually made 4 threes, which is crazy to think of when he couldn't make a 3 in 2 years for Philadelphia.
So
but
true.
I guess it's contagious in Portland, right? You hang around Lillard and Simons and you're going to make some threes. I just think the scoring is going to be there. Cam Reddish is another scorer now that lacks defense for the Portland side. And the other team, Washington, has been really, really good. Now, both teams need wins, so I think you'll get effort out of both. Washington has one more road game. I think it's in Minnesota. I have written here in my notes it's in Minnesota before the break. But I don't see a lot of defense on either side here, Joe. So much like the way we saw back-to-back overs over the weekend with Sacramento and Dallas, I think you're probably getting, these happen to be on back-to-back days, those weren't, but I think you're going to get the same type of results you got last night, again tonight with these two paired up. Like I say, 240 the first time. Unless this thing gets out of control now and the ticker just keeps moving up, 36, 37, 38, 40, there's obviously a breaking point somewhere, but at 236, probably still enough room to get over.
Yeah, last 3. Lakers, OKC, Vino, might have been that game with Portland you were talking about, and Golden State.
Yeah.
So actually, 4 of their last 5 have gone way over, and the one that didn't, it was lined at 241, and that was 127-108 against Milwaukee. So they Portland is certainly not playing defense. So we'll see if that they can get up and over 236. What do you got?
No, I'm saying they tried to, because they can't play any defense right now and don't have any rim protection. They were playing zone last game, and it kind of flustered the Lakers for a little bit, but eventually the scoring picked up and the game still went over.
And Joe, you're right. It was
they needed 60, right?
It was SGA, Gilgeous Alexander, who commented because he scored 42 points and shot 1 3. Just kept going to the rim and going to the foul line or getting layups. So maybe the Lakers should have watched that tape and done the same thing, because he's the one who commented on it.
It was, it's, if you're going to like scoring, I'm thinking we're going to like this game here tonight. And should be a good one, 10 o'clock, guys. That's one of the late ones, 2 10 o'clock games. Couple on prior to that, though. So let's see which one of these 5 games might be a best bet for these guys here. And again, injury reports just coming out now here at the 4:30. Nothing crazy here that we didn't already anticipate or know. So let's go around the horn, and Skee, we'll start with you, man. 5 games on the board. Is there a bet here you like a little more than the rest for us on the show?
Yeah, there is. I'm going to share 2 props, but the prop I like the most is going to be Zubac over at 9.5 rebounds. Like I said, he's cleared it 5 of his last 6 games. He's averaging 10.3 on the season. And when he plays bottom 10 rebounding teams, he's averaging 12.6 on, I think, about 14 games so far this season. So I like Big Zoo to get up and over 9.5. I would even consider laddering it. After that, we will go back to that DeAndre Ayton over his 10.5 rebounds. And it's just Sacramento's bottom 3 rebounding team the last 5 games. He's cleared this number 10 of his last 15 games, and he's hit it 5 of his last 6 meetings versus the Kings. So I think he'll do it for 6. He'll do it again tonight, and I like both of those props as my best bets. Save some time for Tony Finn.
Yeah, no, he ain't getting no more time. But that's excellent. Couple of props here to look. I bet no Kevon Looney rebound prop. All right, no, we'll pass. Let's go here to Tony Finn. 60 seconds here, Finn. You mentioned Phoenix, somewhere in there, this game. Is that your best bet tonight?
It is my best bet. For some reason, guys, and maybe you can enlighten me. Maybe the panel here can enlighten me as to why it would be that Sacramento would be that tough of a engagement, especially the way they play defense. And for the most part, the Suns they're healthy. They're healthy for the most part. They're healthy. Are they still making adjustments to the trades? Yeah, but Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton before the trades, before when there was injuries to these Suns teams, scattered about. They had a -3, about -4 actually net rating per 100. The 5 guys in the starting lineup tonight, which includes Paul, Booker, and Ayton, this is a good team. This is a good lineup. They've been scoring. Small sample size, small, plus 38.3 net rating. The Suns, minus the points tonight, Ayton over 20.5 points. Bam.
Oh, all right. Love it. Vino, talk to us here tonight. 5 games. Which one of these did you circle you find intriguing?
Well, I'll start real quick with one that I'll bet once it's available, Joe, but I don't see it available yet, and that would be Jordan Poole's points and assists over the total. It's been hanging around 30.5 last few nights. As I mentioned last night, he kind of got gypped out of first half minutes because he got into foul trouble, but don't foresee that happening 2 nights in a row. For the best bet on the show, I'll play Orlando-Toronto under the total here. Orlando has been very, very good, going under 7-1 their last 8 games. 6 of the last 8 opponents they've held to 109 or less. 46.4 field goal percent shooting or less, and nobody's done well from the 3 against them. 36.5 or less in 6 of the last 8. It's a byproduct of slower tempo. I think they ranked 26th in tempo last 5 games, and a big front line. Played twice against Toronto, back-to-backs in December. 2-0. Straight up 2-0 against the spread. Both went under this total. Toronto didn't shoot well, and Toronto might be missing Achua and Trent tonight. So give me under in Orlando, Toronto.
Oh, there you go. Outside, Cole Anthony is just questionable for that Magic game, but nothing crazy for Orlando. So they'll be ready to roll against Toronto tonight. And, of course, if you want, guys, to recap it, take a look at what they're going here with. Skee's going to go with a couple of props there, and Zubac over 9.5 rebounds is certainly the one he liked best, while Tony Finn, he's looking at a couple of props in that Phoenix game, but he's going to back them laying the 2.5. And Vino, under in that Orlando-Toronto game, expect... shall we say, 2 pretty, well, at least Toronto's defense going to prevent them in transition from getting out in front. So under it is for Rob Vino at 221.5. But if you head over to WagerTalk.com, Skee's got best bet he told you about ready to roll here in this 5-card NBA game here tonight. You've got Tony Finn locked and loaded, and Rob Vino ready to roll. Plenty of college hoops tonight, as well as these NBA matchups. Should be a great and very profitable card here tonight. So visit Skee, visit Tony, visit Rob. Head over there now, and let's grab those bets and make it a profitable Tuesday over at WagerTalk.com. All right, we're winding it down here. I think just couple more days here of games, and then the All-Star break will hit. No games Friday. You got the festivities over the weekend, and games don't return till next Thursday. So a bit of a reprieve here. Good time to stretch the legs, relax a little bit, and then get ready for what should be a pretty exciting second half. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll break down the rest of the card. Until then, on behalf of Skee, Tony, and Rob Vino, we appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all the plays tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow. Good luck, guys. We'll see you then.
Happy Valentine's Day from all of us at WagerTalk Sports Memo and the Gold Sheet. Instead of handing out chocolates or flowers, we have a sweetheart deal for you. This year's Valentine's Day falls on Tuesday, February 14th, and to celebrate, we're discounting all daily picks packages and one-day all-access passes to just $14. This includes any $35 5% best bets. No coupon is needed, and there is no limit on how many packages you can rack up for only $14.